summer, we took our travel trailer out of the country for the first time to visit Niagara Falls from the Canadian side. We were nervous about going through customs with the RV, but it was smooth sailing. They only asked us the basic questions they ask everyone about firearms, meat, and drugs, and where we are staying and why we are there. We anticipated possibly having our camper searched, but the whole process only took us a few minutes and we were in Canada.
Hello, we are in Canada.
We stayed at the Niagara Falls KOA because it was close to the tourist area and had direct access to WeGo, Niagara's public transit system. We got all set up, we put some food in our bellies, and it's getting to be evening, so now we're going to go down toward the falls and kind of check out where things are, visitor centers. We bought an adventure pass, so we have to figure out how to actually get a hold of that so we can start using it to see attractions tomorrow. Our WeGo passes didn't start until the next day, so we had to drive the truck into town and find a parking spot. We found a spot near the Table Rock Visitor Center. It was almost 6 p.m., but we still had to pay for the entire day of parking at $35 Canadian. Inside Table Rock, we got our first view of the falls. Before leaving the States, we researched and settled on the mid-level Niagara Falls Pass option. If we visited all the included attractions and used the transportation, we would save at least 30% on admission costs. When we picked up our passes, we could also schedule our entrance times for the attractions that required a reservation. With our passes in hand, we headed out to the crowded deck to get a closer look at the falls. For a late dinner, we headed up to the Patio restaurant where Harper had the first of many cheeseburgers that week, and we enjoyed the beautiful view. Good morning. We are going to start using our falls passes today. We have a 10:30 reservation to do Journey Behind the Falls. Then we might check out the Niagara Fury 360-degree movie. We might go to the power station, and we'll probably try the incline, all of which are included on our pass. So part of our pass includes 2 days of the WeGo bus system, and so the campground is a stop on the red line. So instead of having to find parking, which is like $40 a day, we're just gonna ride the bus into town.
So we're gonna go from here, ride it down to here, so we can do what's it called again, Mom?
The Journey Behind the Falls.
The Journey Behind the Falls, somewhere here.
It's probably gonna be like behind these falls.
Yeah, see, somewhere behind these falls.
There are way fewer people here this morning. Okay, we all have our ponchos ready. Can you find your way out, Harper? This is our first of many ponchos this week.
Are we going down? I want to be with next to I feel safe next to Where are we going?
Obviously,
to the tunnel.
We're going out.
Okay, so we're going to look at the portals where you can see behind the falls.
After looking at the backside of water, you can follow the tunnels to an observation deck that puts you at the foot of Horseshoe Falls, also known as the Canadian Falls.
Look at you're in here. Are you in there? No.
Our next adventure was Niagara's Fury, a 360-degree indoor experience that takes you back in time to see how the falls formed. No video was allowed, but you do get very wet. We used our passes to ride the incline up the hill to look for a fun place for lunch. We settled on Vinny's Italian restaurant.
No, but if I can pretend to eat one, I can pretend.
I'm making pickle.
I think we should keep count of how many cheeseburgers Harper eats this week. So far, we're at 2.
So we are at lunch right now. It was delicious.
Okay, that was really silly. So we had a delicious lunch and now we're gonna head back down the incline so we can check out the power station because Jim loves power stations.
The power station opened in 1905 and was decommissioned in 2006. In 2021, it opened to the public as a historical site. The following year, a new attraction was added, allowing visitors to travel 180 feet in a glass elevator to the tunnels below, where water used to empty to the river below the falls.
So this tunnel is about a half a mile walk from the power station to the viewing deck by the falls. This is the mistiest experience we've had so far. This is what, poncho number 3? And I think this is the poncho we've needed the most. Okay, so this tunnel is 60 degrees, which was chilly walking down. But then you go out on the observation deck, you get soaked by the mist, and then you come back in and it's so cold.
You can think of it like sex dancing.
So we've had a lovely morning. So instead of pressing our luck and trying to squeeze in one more thing, we're gonna call it quits and head back to the campground. If we get restless later, we can always go do something else, but we're gonna stop while we're ahead. I'm getting you making the bacon for the gourmet grilled cheese.
Bob's Bacon.
We don't usually splurge on the patio site, and we booked this so long ago, I don't remember why I booked it, but I'm not complaining now that we have it. Yeah, when I saw this bread in the grocery store yesterday, I thought to myself, that would make really good grilled cheeses.
Yeah.
That's an intense grilled cheese. Ready?
We're gonna start at KOA Campground. We're gonna go all the way to the Table Rock Center so we can hop on the green one to go all the way up to here. And then once we finish this, we're gonna go here.
The Whitewater Walk allows visitors an up-close look at Niagara's Class 5 rapids. After taking the elevator down 70 meters, visitors can walk the quarter-mile boardwalk to view the rapids. From the rapids, there is a 20-minute walk to the Whirlpool Aerocar. 4,200 years ago, the washing away of the soft sediment left behind by the glaciers formed this whirlpool at the base of the falls. The Aerocar, which has been in operation since 1916, takes visitors over the whirlpool between 2 points on the Canadian side. After our downriver adventures, we headed back up to town where we discovered some hidden gardens. The most touristy area of Niagara on the Canada side is Clifton Hill.
This is very Gatlinburg vibes. There's a roller coaster on the top of the Burger King. Okay, here we go. This is cheeseburger number 3 of the week. What makes it a good burger?
Because a whole ton of the time chicken has crunch on it. Well, mainly when my dad makes it.
You mean burgers?
Yeah, no, like chicken.
Oh, chicken has
and
crunch.
Then this, I bit into it and there was a whole ton of like crunch cool.
Oh yeah?
And it's delicious. I like that.
Good. So it's like a crispy burger.
Yeah. We are going to go walk up Clifton Hill. We're gonna just, wing it from there because we did everything that our passes let us.
Wax museums and arcades weren't in our plan, but we wanted to do an attraction that takes you high above the falls, so we opted for the Niagara Sky Wheel. Oh, that was my toe. The Sky Wheel takes you 175 feet above the falls to give you great views of both Horseshoe and American Falls. How much do you like this, Daddy? Today is our last full day on the Canadian side of Niagara Falls. So at the recommendation of some friends, we're going to head north to check out the town of Niagara-on-the-Lake. On the way there, we discovered that road construction in Canada is very different from the US. Instead of shutting down parts of the road they're working on in Canada, you just keep driving over them. Niagara-on-the-Lake is a quaint town with lots of specialty shops.
You hold it down.
It's a rubber band.
So you move it.
All right, here we go. Cheeseburger number 4 of the week. our way back to the campground, we stopped at Silversmith Brewing, an independent brewery housed in what used to be a church. It was our last full day in Canada, so obviously we had to order the poutine.
New hat, new beer, old church.
Okay, it's moving day, which means that we are taking the camper from the Canadian side of Niagara to the American side. So we have to go back through customs across the Rainbow Bridge. So currently we are unhooking and stabilizing everything and getting ready to pull out in a little bit. All right, we have to leave the country. It's time to leave the country.
Mama,
What?
does the American side have a playground?
I'm sure it does. We had come to Canada closer to Buffalo, but crossed the Rainbow Bridge to get back into the US. I guess if you're gonna be stuck in traffic waiting to cross the border, there is not a nicer place that you could be stuck. Going through customs was as easy as the first time. Just a few questions and we were on our way. Okay, so it is 11:51 and we've crossed the border. We cannot check into our next campground until 3 p.m. It said very specifically on the webpage, please don't try to check in early. I imagine that happens a lot with people crossing the border. So we are at a Walmart and we're going to fill up our refrigerator with fresh veggies and meats and things we couldn't bring across the border. And then there's some places here we might grab some lunch, and then if we have to, we'll just hang out here until we can go check in. Alright, so we hit the grocery store. I'm just putting stuff away before we go get some lunch. Okay, so we're set up here at what is now known as HTR Niagara. Used to be Branches of Niagara. We're in Site 71, and while it doesn't have the nice patio of our last campground, it is a really nice big site. Those people? Some like sisters cooking some hot dogs. Hot dog party!
Like a bird noise. On the US side, the falls are part of Niagara State Park.
You're getting your steps in.
That's where we headed to get our tickets for the iconic Maid of the Mist boat ride.
I think I'll be pulling my hair back.
Unfortunately, it was the windiest day of the week, so we got hammered by mist from all directions.
We're getting soaked now. would be. Well, not really. This isn't really mist. They sting? They stink? What do you mean your fingers stink?
After Maid of the Mist, we crossed to the other side of the river to walk through Cave of the Winds. You start in the Visitors Center with a small museum and short video on the history of hydroelectric power in Niagara. Then you can take the elevator down to the river where you can walk right up to the falls.
I think this might be your last poncho of the week.
How much you carry? The catwalk for Cave of the Winds is removed every fall and rebuilt every spring. It's called Cave of the Winds because there used to be a cave behind the falls, but a rock slide obliterated it in 1954. At the top is the Hurricane Deck, where you can stand directly beneath the falls.
So that was really fun, and it was our only plan for the day. So we're gonna go grab some lunch at the Top of the Falls restaurant. Okay, here we go. Burger number 5.
I'm gonna eat it here.
Good? Alright, James says, join the cheeseburger club. Don't poke yourself in the eye with that stick.
It's like a postcard.
After lunch, we hiked through more of the park to see the falls view from the American side. So this morning we are headed to Lewiston, New York. We're going to do the Whirlpool Jetboat tour for our last full day here in Niagara. I have a feeling this is either going to be the best thing we do all week or possibly a disaster. I don't know. What's our zip code?
The Jetboat tour takes you up the river, past the Niagara Gorge power plants to the Niagara Whirlpool in a 1,500 horsepower boat that travels up to 80 kilometers per hour.
Now that's okay.
On the way to and from the Whirlpool, guests splash through the Class 5 Devil's Hole Rapids.
Ooh, it's so cold. Was that like the most fun thing we've done all week? Yeah. Yeah. Hi, my drowned hope. Was that fun? Yeah, that was awesome.
I feel like a rat.
What do you think?
Fun.
Yeah? That was really awesome. The kids had been pestering to eat at a rainforest cafe since they saw one on the Canadian side. It was our last day, so we decided to grant their request. Burger number 6. Yeah. Is that good? What is that? The beastly burger. You do not have to eat it all.
It's so hot.
Because it was our last day, we chose to push ourselves and add a visit to Fort Niagara to our day. This is the fort we're going to look at.
Look at that one. Look at over there at that thing.
Fort Niagara is a living history site where visitors can walk amongst the original buildings built by the French in the late 1600s. The British took over the fort during the French Indian War, then handed it over to the United States following the American Revolution. Before leaving Saturday morning, the kids tried their first zipline experience at the campground. Harper tested her mettle with the smaller zipline. Confident she could handle it, she and James climbed the tower for the big zip line over the pond.
There they go! They did it!
I got away nuts unaffected.
Good job!
Awesome.
Try to
It
let
was
go
so fun.
next time, okay?
I liked it. I liked when we got to the bottom because it just swung you forward and
Yeah?
backwards.
Try to, but this time go like this, Harper. No hands.
Welcome to the Niagara Falls Cheeseburger Rating, where we rate the cheeseburgers I eat at the Cheeseburger Club. The best club that I've made. I've made a lot of clubs. This has to be the best. In sixth place with the Rainforest Cafe, because it was wet. Sliders they have. The little sliders were wet. The wet parts on the buns looks like applesauce and tasted even worse than applesauce. In fifth place at the top of the falls restaurant, because it was very crunchy. It was very crunchy and good. Crunchy's good. Was in the fourth place was the Vinny's Italian restaurant. That was crazy. It was a crazy. And third place was the burger from the patio restaurant at the Table Rock Visitor Center, because it was greasy too. In second place was the burger from the Irish pub. The Irish pub. That's Italian. Oh, okay. Because it was also greasy. That's how you know it's good. Greasiness is the heart of everything. Greasiness is the goodness. You squeeze it, grease comes out, it's delicious. That's the test of a good burger. Now the moment you have all been waiting for, the winner, the one who wanted it all, and I hope I say this right, was the cheeseburger from the Niagara Brewing Company. I love this burger because it was very thin and it was very crispy. It's like, that's the best part. That's how you can tell it's a burger. That's how you tell it's a burger. It's a burger. That's Italian again. But that's how you tell it's a burger. It has to be thin and crispy. It has to be almost burnt. It has to be burnt.